Hi, I'm Dawn from Just Doing My Best. I am so glad that you're here today. I'm 57, and by the end of this video, I'm going to share some really actionable tips that you can take today to brighten up this under eye area, to have your concealer look beautiful and not look like a mask. It just looks like you, but better. If you're ready for that, let's jump right in. And the first thing we're going to start with is hydration. I have very oily skin still at 57, but my under eyes are textured, they're getting drier, and I need to hydrate that area. So here's what I use to hydrate my under eye area right before I put my makeup on. The first thing I do every single morning while I'm drinking my coffee is I put under eye masks under my eyes. I like these, very inexpensive. They're clean, they're super hydrating, but they're loaded with vitamin C, and that helps a lot with those under eye dark circles. Now, if you deal with puffiness, put these in the refrigerator. Anything that you put in the refrigerator, your eye cream or your eye masks, that immediately helps to take down that puffiness. When I get out of the shower, I apply an under eye cream. I'm using this one right now from L'Oreal. This is the Midnight Eye Cream. I love this. If you are super puffy, here is a wonderful eye roller. It's very cooling. Just roll this under and around your eyes, and it has caffeine in it. So anything that you put in the refrigerator first before applying it to your eye, that helps with puffiness, but also anything with caffeine helps a ton. Here's the other thing that I do, because what we want is we want super plump, super hydrated skin underneath our eyes. Our skin is wrinkled, right? It's textured, and the more hydration you can add, the plumper that skin is, the less likely that concealer will settle into those fine lines. It has no place to go if you plump it up really nicely. So right before I'm going to add my concealer, I take a very hydrating balm and go right underneath my eyes. Give it a minute to soak in. Now that concealer can't settle into that fine line area. The 4 biggest concealer mistakes that I see women over 50 do, and I'm guilty of them also. Number 1, not enough hydration. Number 2, full coverage concealer. In my head, I'm thinking that a full coverage concealer is just going to cover up 20 years of no sleep and bad decisions, right? But full coverage concealer can really often look like a mask. So we're going to use light to medium coverage, and we're going to apply it in layers. Number 3 is too much concealer. Again, light layers. And number 4, too much powder. You're going to see all of those things covered as you watch this video. You can apply concealer and foundation in any order that works for you. I generally apply foundation first, so I'm going to do that now, and I always leave foundation off underneath and above my eyes. I save that area for color corrector and concealer. If you've ever said, my concealer is not working anymore, chances are it's not your concealer. You need a color corrector. Over 50 now, I have redness, I have dark circles. A color corrector will cancel the redness. It will cancel and counteract the darkness and the redness, making it possible so that your concealer doesn't have to work so hard. If you can implement a color corrector into your makeup routine, you will use half as much concealer, and you will be amazed at the difference. How to pick out a color corrector. I'm fair to light skin tone. My color corrector is a light pink heading toward peach. If you have medium skin tone, the color corrector you're going to look for is more of a peachy color. If you have darker skin, your color corrector is going to be more orange. The one I'm using today is from Makeup Revolution. This is under $10. This is a game changer. I will also link another one of my favorite color correctors down in the description below this video. So I'm going to use the same brush, that I would use or that I will use for my concealer. And I'm going to apply this in the areas where I need it the most. And I don't need a lot because this works really, really well. I'm applying the bulk of this above my eyes and then just in this area right here where I need the most help. Once I have this applied, I like to take my pinky and just even this out just a little bit more. I don't like to go too heavy or too hard with a brush right around my lash line. And look at the difference already. Just with this peachy pink color going in and canceling out the redness in the dark circles. Look at this, and I haven't even put concealer on yet. If you've been here before, you know I like super affordable makeup. I am your budget beauty bestie. So the concealers that I love are super affordable. The one that I'm using, this is my favorite, is the Catrice True Skin. I also love the Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer and the NYX Bear With Me. And they're light to medium. They're buildable, but I'm not ready for concealer just yet. I'm going to apply all of my cream products to include a cream bronzer and a cream blush. Once I have that on, then I'm going to come back and apply my concealer. When I apply some color before concealer, I'm less likely to overdo my concealer. I find that I'm really trying to cover up everything when I apply concealer before color. This way, I apply it with a much lighter hand and I'm much more strategic. So I'm going to take my concealer and apply it to the back of my hand and pick it up lightly with a brush. And my concealer is about a shade lighter than my foundation. We're trying to just brighten that area from all of the darkness, the dark circles. And if it's too light, then it just acts like a giant spotlight and it really emphasizes texture, fine lines, creasing, the dark circles, all of that. And the areas that I really want to concentrate on are this area right here and over here, kind of just below the corner of my eyes. So I'm applying a little with a light hand, really focusing on this area here. And then I'm going to bring it out this way. And I really want to bring that up and out because that can really lift the face up. I'm going to apply a little around my nose. We're going to set this and I'm going to share with you my magic tip that really is a game changer to help with creasing and longevity for your concealer under your eyes. But the first thing I'm going to do is this. Don't laugh. Now you're going to see creasing. Take your ring finger and just pat all of that out and even out all of that concealer. Did you notice? I didn't even use half the concealer I put on the back of my hand. It was more about strategic placement and then just tapping it out with the brush. So I probably used half the concealer that I would have had I not applied a little bit of bronzer and a little bit of blush first. Now I'm going to take a little bitty makeup sponge. I found this little one from e.l.f. and it's perfect for what I'm going to use it for, and some setting spray. And then taking this sponge while everything is still damp, and I'm just bouncing it off of my skin, especially in my problem areas. If you have oily eyelids, this is perfect for this as well. So the setting spray locked everything down in place, and this little makeup sponge picked up any excess concealer or foundation that can cause me problems later on. I'm telling you, this step is a game changer. Now I'm going to lightly set this. I find that one step that a lot of women overdo is powder. You could skip powder altogether if you're drier than I am, but I have very oily skin, so I like to lightly set everything with powder. One of my very favorite setting powders is the one from Morphe. Very, very affordable. And I use the brightening pink. And honestly, I'm just using what came off on the lid. Getting it into the brush, working it in, tapping off excess, and just lightly brushing this all over. I'm not dipping back into my powder. I'm just using whatever was on the brush. Now everything is lightly set and I can finish my makeup. I have one last tip for you in case your concealer just happens to misbehave later on in the day. But first, let's take a look at this up close. We all know that sometimes, especially over 50, our skin has a mind of its own. So if later on in the day, your concealer acts up just a little bit, take that hydrating balm that we used underneath our concealer and your concealer brush. And just tap that underneath the eyes. That will rehydrate and kind of melt everything back together. Then you can just take your pinky or your ring finger and just tap that all out, and that should help a lot. I would love to know down in the comments, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to your concealer and whether or not I solved that problem for you. I hope that I did. If this was helpful, I hope you'll like and subscribe. Come over and find me on Facebook or Instagram at Just Doing My Best. And if you need a full foundation tutorial, watch this video next. Go out today and be blessed and do your best.